Ever pondered the dichotomy of Alexander the Great, a hero or a tyrant? This enigma, shrouded in the cloak of antiquity, has perplexed historians for centuries. Alexander III of Macedon, commonly known as Alexander the Great, was a figure of immense influence. His exploits from over 2 millennia ago continue to shape our world in ways that are as diverse as they are profound. From the sun-baked sands of Egypt to the snow-capped peaks of the Hindu Kush, his empire stretched farther than the eye could see. But who was this man, really? A beacon of civilization, spreading Greek culture and wisdom across the known world? Or a ruthless conqueror, subjugating countless peoples under his iron fist? Throughout the annals of history there are few figures as polarizing as Alexander. Some see him as a visionary, a military genius who ushered in the Hellenistic age, blending cultures and ideas into a unique and vibrant tapestry. Others paint a darker picture, portraying him as a bloodthirsty despot, driven by an insatiable hunger for power and conquest. In this video we will peel back the layers of myth and hyperbole that have surrounded Alexander since his death in 323 BC. We will look into his early life, his ascension to power, his lightning-fast conquests, and his rule over an empire that spanned 3 continents. We will scrutinize the events that shaped his character, his decisions, and ultimately his legacy. We will see Alexander through the eyes of those who loved him, those who feared him, and those who were caught in the whirlwind of his life and reign. We aim to paint a comprehensive, unbiased portrait of this enigmatic figure, drawing on a wealth of historical sources and scholarly research. So, was Alexander the Great a hero or a tyrant, a liberator or an oppressor, a beacon of enlightenment or a harbinger of destruction? The answer, as we shall see, is far from straightforward. It is as complex and multifaceted as the man himself. Join us as we journey back in time to uncover the truth about Alexander the Great. Our tale begins in Pella, the ancient capital of Macedonia. Born into a world of power and intrigue, Alexander was the son of King Philip II and Queen Olympias, a couple whose ambitions and passions would greatly influence the character of their son. The young Alexander, born in 356 BC, was raised in the tumultuous atmosphere of a royal court. His father, King Philip, was a formidable military strategist, expanding the Macedonian Empire through a series of decisive victories. From him, Alexander inherited an indomitable spirit and a keen understanding of military tactics. His mother, Queen Olympias, was a fiercely ambitious woman with a strong belief in her divine ancestry. She instilled in Alexander a sense of destiny, a belief that he was not merely a prince, but a divine being chosen for greatness. Alexander's education also played a significant role in shaping his character and ambitions. At the age of 13 he began studying under the great philosopher Aristotle. For 3 years, Aristotle tutored Alexander in a wide range of subjects, from philosophy and politics to science and the arts. This broad education not only sharpened Alexander's intellect, but also cultivated his curiosity and love for learning. Indeed, these early influences left a profound impact on Alexander. The military prowess of his father combined with his mother's spiritual convictions and the intellectual rigor of Aristotle's teachings formed a potent mix that would fuel his ambitions. He was not just a prince, he was a warrior, a scholar, a leader, and even, in his own eyes, a god. These formative years were not without their trials and tribulations. His parents' volatile relationship, the constant political maneuverings at court, and the immense pressure to live up to his destined greatness all served to test and temper Alexander's character. Yet, amidst these challenges, Alexander emerged with a clear vision of his future, a burning ambition to conquer not just kingdoms, but the world itself. These formative years were a prelude to the greatness that was to come. A sudden tragedy, a rapid ascension. Alexander was now the king of Macedonia. The year was 336 before the Common Era, and the world was about to witness one of the most profound shifts in power. The sudden assassination of King Philip II, Alexander's father, left the throne vacant. Amid the chaos and confusion, Alexander, only 20 years old, seized the opportunity. His ascension to power was swift and decisive. Alexander understood that his reign would be contested, and so he acted quickly to consolidate his power. He eliminated potential rivals, including those within his own family. His actions were ruthless, but they were effective. By the end of that year, Alexander had secured his position as the undisputed king of Macedonia. But he was not just a king in name, he was a leader in action. Alexander proved his mettle by dealing with rebellions that erupted in the wake of his father's death. The cities of Thebes, Athens, and Thessaly rose against him, but Alexander quelled these uprisings with a combination of military prowess and diplomatic finesse. He showed that he was not merely a young king, but a formidable leader, capable of maintaining control and unity in his kingdom. His rule was marked by a blend of firm authority and strategic diplomacy. He knew when to wield the sword and when to extend the olive branch. He was a king who understood the art of ruling, the balance of power, and the importance of a united front. Alexander's ascension to power was not just about securing his throne, it was about proving himself as a leader, capable of making tough decisions and leading his people through tumultuous times. It was about setting the stage for what was to come. His swift and decisive actions during this time foreshadowed the great conquests that lay ahead. Alexander had secured his throne, but his eyes were set on a larger prize. His ascension was only the beginning. The world was about to witness the rise of one of the greatest conquerors in history. Alexander the Great was just getting started. Alexander's ambition knew no bounds. He dreamt of a world united under his rule. And so begins the tale of Alexander the Conqueror. With the world at his feet, he set off on a journey to shape history. His first major campaign took him to Persia, the mighty empire that had long been a thorn in Greece's side. Unfazed by the daunting task, Alexander displayed his strategic genius. He didn't wage a full frontal attack. Instead, he cleverly navigated his way through the Persian Empire, taking key cities and provinces one by one. This approach not only rattled the Persian king Darius III, but also strategically weakened his stronghold over his empire. However, the Persian campaign was not a walk in the park. The Battle of Assos, a significant confrontation in this campaign, was a true test of Alexander's military prowess. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander managed to turn the tide in his favor. His tactical use of terrain, his fearless charge at the Persian center, and his relentless pursuit of victory led to a decisive Greek win. This battle marked a turning point in the campaign, pushing Darius III on the back foot and establishing Alexander as a formidable force. But Alexander's thirst for conquest was far from quenched. His eyes turned east, towards the exotic lands of India. Here he faced King Porus, a ruler as fearless and determined as himself. The Battle of the Hydaspes River was another testament to Alexander's genius. Despite facing an army with war elephants, a weapon unfamiliar to the Greeks, Alexander maneuvered his forces with such finesse that he managed to defeat Porus. This victory, however, came with a price. The fierce resistance put up by the Indians, coupled with his troops' homesickness, forced Alexander to turn back, marking the end of his conquests. Throughout these campaigns, Alexander proved himself to be more than just a conqueror. He was a visionary who saw beyond the mere acquisition of territories. He sought to blend the cultures of the conquered lands with that of Greece, fostering a sense of unity and mutual respect. His dream of a world united under his rule was not merely about dominion, it was about creating a melting pot of cultures where knowledge and ideas could be shared freely. In his relentless pursuit of victory, Alexander displayed a strategic genius that was far ahead of his time. His ability to adapt to different battle scenarios, his fearless leadership, and his unwavering determination led him to carve out one of the largest empires in history. In just a decade, Alexander had carved out one of the largest empires in history. His story is not just about conquests and battles, it's about ambition, strategy, and a dream that knew no bounds. Alexander was indeed a conqueror, but he was also a visionary, a leader who dared to dream big and had the courage to turn those dreams into reality. With great power comes great responsibility. How did Alexander wield his? As we delve into the heart of Alexander's rule, we encounter a complex tapestry of leadership styles, policies, and interactions with conquered peoples. Alexander's leadership style was an intriguing blend of charisma and fear. He led from the front, charging into battles alongside his men, an act that won him the loyalty and admiration of his troops. Yet he was also known to rule with an iron fist, instilling fear among those who dared to oppose him. In terms of policies, Alexander demonstrated a surprising level of tolerance towards the cultures of the lands he conquered. He allowed them to retain their customs and traditions, a strategy that helped maintain peace in his vast empire. Yet, he also imposed Greek culture and language, paving the way for the Hellenistic era, a period marked by the spread of Greek influence across the known world. Alexander's treatment of conquered peoples was a testament to his military genius and political savvy. He often incorporated the local elite into his administration, marrying Persian princesses and encouraging his men to do the same. This policy of fusion was a masterstroke, effectively pacifying the conquered regions. However, Alexander's reign was not without its dark side. Instances of his cruelty and paranoia abound. The infamous razing of Thebes, the execution of his trusted advisor Parmenion, and the murder of his friend Cletus during a drunken brawl are but a few examples. These acts of violence and betrayal paint a picture of a ruler who, in his quest for power, often crossed the line into tyranny. The paradoxes in Alexander's rule are many. He was both a military genius and a brutal tyrant, a benevolent ruler and a paranoid despot. His reign was a complex mix of tolerance and imposition, of fusion and assimilation, of charisma and fear. These contradictions have sparked centuries of debate among historians, earning Alexander both praise and criticism. Alexander's reign was a paradox of benevolence and brutality. His rule, like the man himself, remains an enigma, a fascinating study of power, leadership, and the human condition. Alexander the Great left behind a world forever changed by his actions. Consider the vast expanse of his empire, from Greece to Egypt and as far east as India. This vast territory was not only conquered but deeply influenced by Alexander's vision. He was not just a conqueror but a catalyst, igniting a profound cultural and political transformation that shaped the world as we know it. At the heart of his legacy is the creation of the Hellenistic world. Alexander, a proud Greek himself, brought Greek culture to the farthest corners of his dominion. He encouraged the spread of Greek language, art, and philosophy, effectively creating a cultural bridge between the East and the West. This fusion of cultures fostered an era of intellectual and artistic progress that is still revered today. This Hellenistic influence extended beyond just culture. It reshaped the political landscape of the ancient world. Alexander's administrative system was adopted in many regions, leading to the formation of new Hellenistic states. These states, albeit separated by geography, were united by a common culture, a shared language, and a similar system of governance. But perhaps the most enduring aspect of Alexander's legacy is his influence on future leaders. From Julius Caesar to Napoleon Bonaparte, many great figures in history looked to Alexander as a model of leadership and military prowess. They sought to emulate his strategic genius, his ambitious vision, and his indomitable spirit. Alexander's shadow looms large over the annals of history, his name synonymous with greatness. Yet, like any influential figure, Alexander's legacy is not without controversy. His reign was marked by bouts of tyranny, excessive ambition, and brutal warfare. These darker aspects of his character and rule remind us that even the most revered figures in history were far from perfect. Alexander's legacy is as complex and multifaceted as the man himself. Whether a hero or a tyrant, there's no denying his impact on the world. His story serves as a potent reminder of how one individual's actions can shape the course of history. Alexander the Great, a hero who united the world or a tyrant who left it in ruins? We've journeyed through the life of Alexander from his early years, his ascension to power, his conquests, his ruling style, and his lasting legacy. Each facet of his life, like a piece of a complex puzzle, contributes to the image we have of him today. Alexander's early years highlighted his exceptional talent and ambition, a young prince tutored by Aristotle himself, groomed for greatness. His ascension to power, a testament to his strategic mind and tenacity, saw him rise to become one of the most influential leaders of his time. As a conqueror, he etched his name in the annals of history, his empire stretching from Greece to Egypt and as far as India. His military genius is undeniable, his victories a testament to his prowess on the battlefield. Yet the cost of these victories was high, marked by bloodshed and destruction. As a ruler, Alexander's reign was a blend of magnanimity and ruthlessness. He adopted practices of the cultures he conquered, promoting unity and diversity, but also demonstrated brutal suppression against those who opposed him. In terms of his legacy, Alexander's influence is far-reaching and enduring. His name is echoed through the centuries, inspiring leaders, sparking debates, and shaping the course of history. But this legacy also carries the weight of controversy, of lives lost and civilizations upended. Historical figures like Alexander are multifaceted, complex individuals. Their actions and decisions shaped by the times they lived in, their personal ambitions, and their perceptions of what was right and necessary. It is therefore challenging and perhaps even unfair to label them definitively as a hero or a tyrant. So we leave you with this question. Was Alexander the Great a hero or a tyrant? Just remember, history is often a matter of perspective, and the verdict ultimately is yours to make.